Hi, this is a short video on Osroll's exclusive clear tilt plantation shutter mechanism. Now this is a system that was designed in-house with a focus on quality, consistency, and making sure that it's easily serviceable on site. Now I have an offcut here which I'll pull apart to show you the base components. It's effectively three base components. You have a plastic extrusion, which looks like this. You'll have two gear strips either side within the extrusion. And you'll have a set of pinions, which look like this. Now I'll pop that back together. As you can see, this is an extremely simple system. Now the beauty of that is, there's not a lot that can go wrong. One of the other great parts is, if something does go wrong, it's really easy to fix. Now I'll show you this as a component setup, including the style, because that's what you'll be familiar with seeing on site. Now that simply slides inside there like that. Okay, now one thing that can happen is you might find that your blades don't have a full range of motion. There's a couple of things that can cause that. Now if you have your gear strips slightly skewed, like this one is here, as you can see, that'll move up and down with the blade. Now if this can't move far enough, like it might have an obstruction like a screw or possibly your rails, then the blade's not going to continue to turn. Very easy to fix. You would take out the set of pinions inside that opening. You can simply tip the shutter and you'll see that those gear strips will fall back into line. You pop your pinions back in, making sure they're all aligned, and you'll be good to go. Now one other cause can be the fact that these gear strips are actually made up of many smaller gear strips. Now, approximately every 150 mil, there'll be a join between the gear strips. Now these pinions have 10 teeth, which means that they need 10 teeth as a range of motion on the gear strip. Now that's approximately 20 mils, so it's pretty easy. You just make sure that that pinion has approximately 20 mil gap between the nearest join. Okay, and I just want to take you through a way to fix an out of sync blade. Now, it's very easy. It can happen from time to time through heavy use or perhaps because a pinion was sitting too loose inside the style. Now, I have a sample panel here which we've deliberately built with an out of sync blade. Now, just to give you an example, you can see that that one's just not operating in sync with the rest of the blades. Pretty simple to fix. Now, you can unscrew the style to remove it. However, you do have another option and I'll show you now. A gentle tap with a mallet will shear the blade pin. Now there is a blade pin on the idle side. We'll always assemble the mechanism on the hinge side of the panel. So if you go to the opposite side, give it a nice gentle tap. That releases that blade and we can now remove it. Now the pinion will generally come out with it, which is perfect, because what you want to do is you want to put that pinion back in with the blades aligned. So if you open them so that they're on a right angle, it's pretty easy to line up that pinion so that it'll fit with the rest of the blades when we reinsert the blade. Now, if you have a large enough panel, you can get enough flex in that you can pop the blade back in just by flexing out the top style a little bit. But on something this small, you will need to release the style. Unless, of course, you've got a spring pin, which looks like this. You can pop it in. Otherwise, we'll be using a fixed pin like this. Now, the sheared off fixed pin that's in there will need to be removed. I'll pop that one out there. Then it's as simple as removing the sticky dots which we place over the screw holes. Now what I do, I'm not going to take this style completely off, I'm just going to loosen it. Okay, so what that does is that allows us now to slip that blade back in. So if I take this blade, I'll pop the fixed pin back in there. Now we just need to line this up with the pinion. Once that's in there like that, make sure you've got enough room. Pop your blade back in, like so. Now tighten that back up. And it's as simple as that. They're all back in sync.